Episode 3 of Fallout begins right back at the beginning with a look at Cooper. This is pre-nuclear war, and he's on a film set for a western. Cooper isn't so sure on the direction of the film, especially when he's supposed to kill one of the criminals. When the scene cuts, Cooper speaks to the director, who points out that the scriptwriter was let go for his communist views. Instead, they're now going to go for a new America style. We then cut back to the present, or, well, the future. Time is a little bit confusing here.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
The ghoul catches up with Wilzig, accompanied by CX-404, where he finds the severed remains of his target. He now needs to find Lucy, and he suspects that she may be off in the direction of the city. Of course, Lucy's footsteps can be seen on the ground, so that's probably a dead giveaway over her direction too. As for Lucy, she continues to march across the wilderness, closer towards the irradiated city in the distance. She continues to ignore Wilzig's advice to lighting up fires late at night. She observes his head and notices something in the side of his neck. She doesn't pry further though, despite her curiosity. Meanwhile, Maximus finds himself having to adopt Titus's voice as he sets out to dispel the concerns of his superior, who chatters over the radio. When he mentions that his squire, that being Maximus, has died, he sent a replacement. Maximus hurriedly destroys the radio and then pays to get extra parts, which cost him more than bottle caps, given he also loses some teeth too. When he returns to the armour, Maximus finds himself surrounded by raiders. They beat him down and leave him a mess on the floor. Unfortunately, they also manage to get into the armour, but before they can take control of it, Maximus returns and manages to crush the skull for one of their comrades using the Brotherhood armour. It does the trick, but unfortunately, reinforcements fly in.
Oh dear, we are in trouble.
Maximus has no choice but to don the armour and pretend to be Titus. Thaddeus is a new squire, one of the guys who used to bully Maximus, and he also brings a message from the Elder Cleric. Apparently, this target is a #1 priority because whoever controls it will also control the wasteland. Lucy makes it down to the coastline, where she finds herself confronted by a mutant, which drags her away. She manages to hold her own though, until the ghoul shows and holds her at gunpoint. Unfortunately, in the scuffle, Wilzig's head is stolen by this mutant. The ghoul knows that this creature is a gulper and it's bad news. Down in the vault, Chet is being reassigned and no longer the gatekeeper. As for Norman, he's not reassigned per se, but given rather demeaning tasks to take part in within the vault, including bringing food to the locked up raiders in the jail cells down below. Speaking of demeaning tasks, Maximus makes the most of having Thaddeus with him, forcing the guy to do his bidding, climbing a tree to get an apple and eventually coming across the body of Wilzig. They're very much on the trail now, and not far behind the ghoul and Lucy. With this in mind, the ghoul decides to use Lucy as bait to lure the mutant in so he can get their head back. It seems to do the trick, and we get a look at this mutant firsthand. It's a massive, nasty creature, but after Lucy dispatches it, the ghoul decides to string her along and take her with him. There's a line here that is so good, and it basically sums up the Fallout games to a T. As they leave together, the ghoul retorts, and I quote, "Thou shalt get sidetracked by bullshit every goddamn time." As I and many other Fallout players will attest to, this is very true. How many times have you played going off on a mission and you end up sidetracked checking out some question marks, only to realise 3 hours have passed and you're no closer to your target? Anyway, I digress. As this is ongoing, Thaddeus reveals more about his past. Apparently, Thaddeus himself used to be the regular punching bag with the Brotherhood, but when Maximus flew in as a new recruit, he worked to move everyone's attention across to him.
Unbelievable.
He feels bad for it, unaware that Maximus is inside the suit, and eventually they move on to the area of the Gulper. In fact, they head right out into the water, where it seems to have revived again and ready to charge him for the kill. As the Gulper rushes at Maximus, he and Thaddeus work together to dispatch the creature. In doing so, it also spits up a whole range of trinkets. CX-404 is here as well, and he begins sniffing around the head. Meanwhile, Lucy finds herself at the mercy of the ghoul, who refuses to let her have any water and marches her out into the irradiated remains of a town. As they continue forward, Cooper shoots out the face from a Vault-Tec banner. This is personal to him, as we see that he actually used to be the face of Vault-Tec too.
Are you sure about that?
Well, there it is.
And that is where episode 3 comes to an end. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.